Good morning and thanks for tuning in. I'm Joe Anderson.
And I'm Brooklyn Benjaminson. Today's Wednesday, February 14th. Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey was born into slavery in February of 1818 on Maryland's eastern shore. He spent his early years with his grandparents, during which time he was exposed to the degradations of slavery, witnessing firsthand the brutality of chattel bondage. When he was 8, he was sent to Baltimore to live with a ship carpenter named Hugh Auld. There he learned to read and first heard the words of abolition and abolitionists. Douglas credits his time in Baltimore as laying the foundation for his future successes. After 7 years in Baltimore, Douglas was sent back to the country where he received brutal treatment at the hands of his overseer. Douglas vowed to escape, and though his early attempts failed, on September 3, 1838, he was successful. Traveling by train, then steamboat, then train, he arrived in New York City the following day, settling in New Bedford, Massachusetts, a few weeks later. Always striving to educate himself, Douglas continued his reading. He joined various organizations in New Bedford, including a black church. He attends abolitionist meetings, eventually joining the Massachusetts Anti-Slavery Society. Douglas was asked to become a lecturer for the society for 3 years. It was the launch of a career that would continue throughout his long life. In 1845, Douglas published his autobiography narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave, written by himself. Douglas was a prolific writer and committed activist for abolition and the rights of blacks. When the Civil War began, Douglas continued his active involvement to better the lives of African Americans. He conferred with Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War and recruited Northern blacks for the Union Army. After the war, he fought for the rights of women and African Americans alike. It was just after returning from a women's suffrage rally that Frederick Douglass died of a heart attack on February 20th, 1895, at his hilltop home, Cedar Hill, in Anacostia, Washington, D.C. Happy birthday today to Vanessa Bernal, Alex Hoy, Eliana Dermer, Eloise Dominici, Dakota Henry, and Jackson Hoffman. Welcome to RT Today, brought to you by
the D. Buchanan Studio of Dance, Middletown's home for dancers. Come dance with us.
In news, yesterday, Tuesday, February 13th, a 31-year-old man was killed after driving into a power pole and then a fence in Jefferson. The man was deemed deceased on the scene. In entertainment, Madame Web, the fourth film in Sony's Spider-Man universe, has been called a, quote, tangled mess, unquote, by critics, along with many one-star reviews. The movie was released today, starring Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney. In sports, nearly 3 weeks after the Jackie Robinson statue was found stolen in Wichita, Kansas, one of the 3 perpetrators of the crime has been arrested. Ricky Alderete is going to court Tuesday to be charged. There was no evidence pointing towards this being a hate crime, but rather motivated by monetary gain. That's a wrap. Let's go to Brooklyn with today's announcements.
Thanks, Joe. Super Bowl Sunday is the kickoff to our Tackle Hunger Food Drive benefit, the Middletown Valley Food Bank. Students are encouraged to bring donations into Knights Quest Monday, February 12th to Tuesday, February 20th. The Knights Quest collecting the most items will be treated to donuts. All donations are appreciated, but current high-need items are sugar, mayonnaise, coffee, tea, canned meat, canned fruit, hamburger helper, cooking oil, toilet paper, and facial tissues. Attention all students who have completed at least 3 levels of Spanish. Applications for the Spanish Honor Society are now being accepted. See Mrs. Boyle in room 315 for a copy of the application or if you have any questions. Middletown High School is taking a non-sponsored trip to Japan next summer. Registrations are still being accepted. Visit Mrs. Boyle in room 315 with any questions. In sports, the boys basketball team is up against Urbana away, JV at 5:30 and varsity at 7. We're all nice. Now let's go to Ginger with a look at today's weather.
Thanks, Brooklyn. Happy Valentine's Day. There is a high of 40 degrees and a low of 30 degrees. The sunny conditions are melting all the snow from yesterday. That's all for weather. I'm Ginger Pieklo. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks for watching. I'm Joe Anderson.
And I'm Brooklyn Benjaminson. Happy Valentine's Day, and we leave you with this final RT Plus segment by Reagan Van Pelt.
Hey, singles and mingles. Today we're going to find out who people's dream Valentine is. Is it Reagan Van Pelt? Okay, so who am I here with?
Faith Rosner.
And who's Faith Rosner's dream Valentine?
Myself.
That's cool, but I could be your Valentine. Oh! Who am I here with?
You're here with Duke.
And who's Duke's dream Valentine?
Duke's dream Valentine is Ice Spice. Or SZA. Nah, SZA.
Okay, so who am I here with?
Ellie.
Who's Ellie's dream Valentine?
Millie Bobby Brown when she had like the shaved head and like the blood.
You may say I'm a dreamer. Okay, so who am I here with?
Ava. Ella.
Who are Ava and Ella's dream Valentines?
Jacob Elordi.
Jacob Elordi.
I'm gonna do a cartwheel.
Baby, you light up my world like nobody else do it. You lift your